Today's fairy tale is a Scottish story about fighting giants and a raven that loves tobacco. It's sometimes called The Rider of Grianeg, but Andrew Lang recorded it as Ian the Soldier's Son. There's a king who's got 3 daughters, but one day when they're sitting on the rocks and dipping their toes in the ocean, a monstrous beast comes out from the water, grabs them, and sucks them under, and no one knows where they went or what's happened to them. In the nearby village, a soldier has 3 sons who on Christmas want to play a game of shinny, which is kind of like hockey. The youngest, named Ian, says, "Let's go play it on the king's lawn because it has the best grass," and his brothers are like, "Dude, that's kind of rude because his daughters just got kidnapped." They do it, the king does get mad, so Ian and his brothers promise that they're gonna go out and find the princesses. They take a ship and sail to a foreign land where they see a bunch of men building something, and they're like, "What's up?" And they're like, "Oh, well, these 3 kidnapped princesses are gonna marry 3 giants tomorrow." So they're like, "Oh, this must be the place." Since there's construction going on, the brothers use a creel or a basket with like a pulley system to get each other up the mountain. But each time the first brother and the second brother go up, this raven tries to peck their eyes out. When it's Ian's turn, he's like, "Hey, Raven, what do you want?" And the raven says, "Will you give me a piece of tobacco?" He's like, "Why should I give you tobacco when you wanted to peck my eyes out?" And he's like, "That's just my job. I promise if you give me the tobacco, I'll actually help you. I'll take you to the first princess who's sewing her wedding garments and like crying about it because she doesn't want to marry the giant." So he takes him there and he's like, "Hey maiden, what's up?" She's like, "I have to marry this giant, I don't want to." And he's like, "Well, tell me where he is and I'll fight him." But she's like, "No one can fight him but Ian the Soldier's Son, but he must only be 16 years old." I guess there was a prophecy that hasn't been mentioned so far, but he doesn't tell her that's who he is. He's like, "Just tell me how to get to the giant." So she does. He has to basically ring and break these chains to make the giant come home. The giant comes home and they start fighting each other, just physically wrestling, and our dude's gonna lose, but then the raven shows up and he's like, "Hey, take this knife from under my wing. It's super sharp." And so he does, and he cuts off the giant's head. Raven's like, "Go to the girl and she'll want you to stay with her, but don't go to her next sister." And so he does. And during all of this, he keeps giving the raven more tobacco because he won't help him unless he keeps giving him more. So the exact same thing happens with the second sister. The raven also tells him to bathe himself and like rub balsam all over himself before each fight, which must have smelled nice and is just an interesting detail. That all the giants are dead. They basically take as much gold and silver from them as they can carry, and they're heading back to where that basket is, and his brothers are waiting at the bottom. The raven had previously told him, "You go down first, then lower down the girls," but he just absolutely forgets. So he lowers the girls down first, and then the girls are so happy to be free that they just get on the horses with the 2 older brothers who've just been waiting this whole time, and the older brothers are like, "We're just gonna take credit for this and leave our brother behind." So all of them take off. The raven comes to her dude and he's like, "You didn't listen to me, but I'll help you again for some more tobacco." So the raven takes him to this other land and he says, "Don't touch anything while we're here." But then as they're walking, he sees 3 heroes that are laying dead on the ground with spears stuck in their breasts. Pulls the spears out and the dudes all come back to life, and they're like, "Okay, you're now under a spell and have to come with us to the cave of the Black Fisherman." Ian is forced to go with them to this cave where there's a hag who is horrible to look on and has this club. She turns the 3 men into stone by hitting them with her club, and then she tells Ian, "If you want to save them, you have to go to the island of the big women. You have to get water from that island and put it on these men to save them." And Ian is super upset. The text says that he would rather have gone after the youngest daughter because he's been wanting her from the start, but now he has to go on this side quest. But the raven comes to help him again for tobacco and helps him get this amazing horse from the giant stable and tells him what to do. Sadly, we don't see these big women, but he does another thing where he doesn't do what the raven says, but the horse helps him. The horse is a girl and can talk. So he gets the water, revives the dudes, and he's finally able to travel back home. When he gets there, he finds out his older brothers are marrying the oldest 2 sisters, and they're gonna marry the youngest one that he wants off to like the son of an advisor. He's like, "What do I do to the horse?" And the horse says, "Cut off my head." And he's like, "What? No." And the horse is like, "Trust me, I'm an enchanted woman, and once you cut my head off, I will turn back into a woman, and all will be well with you." So he cuts the horse's head off, but it doesn't turn into a woman right away. It's like gonna happen later. So he just leaves the horse's decapitated body and goes on his way. When he gets to the castle, he kind of spies on the youngest princess and he hears her demanding a golden cap that she left at the giant's castle. So the raven, for tobacco again, goes and gets the cap for him, and then the raven says, "Cut my head off too. I was the boyfriend of the girl horse that you killed." So he cuts off the raven's head, goes to sleep. In the morning, the raven is a dude. They go to where he'd killed the horse. It's a woman. They get to be together. Yay. And he has the golden cap. So he shows up at court and he's like, "Look, I got this golden cap for the youngest princess because I'm the one who saved them all." And she's like, "Yes, he's right. That's the one I want to marry." So they get married and live happily ever after. And the 2 brothers are so ashamed that they have to leave the country. The end. As always, check out my book, Dust Spells, A Reimagining of the 12 Dancing Princesses, and my podcast, links in the bio.